Welcome! In this explainer, we're going to explore something truly incredible: how life not only survives, but actually thrives in Earth's most hostile, pitch-black environments. So get ready for a journey into a world where the sun never shines.
Okay, so let's dive right in. We all learn this fundamental rule in biology class, right? The sun is the engine of life. It powers pretty much every ecosystem on our planet through photosynthesis. It feels like a non-negotiable fact of existence. But what if it's not? What if I told you that in huge parts of our world, life is flourishing without ever seeing a single ray of sunlight? What if that fundamental rule we all know actually has a spectacular exception? To really get a feel for this, just look at the contrast. On one side, you've got a vibrant rainforest, literally humming with energy that's all coming from the sun. And on the other, the crushing, freezing, absolute darkness of a deep-sea trench. You'd think it would be a completely barren wasteland. But it's not. Not even close. So you might be wondering, just how big are these realms of permanent night? Well, let's explore some of these hidden worlds that exist right here on our own planet. I mean, we're talking about the deepest ocean trenches, huge cave systems that have never known light, the months-long darkness of a polar winter, and even life buried deep within the Earth's crust. And these aren't just empty voids. Oh no, they are unique habitats, and each one presents an unbelievable challenge for survival. So, how in the world does life do it? How does it solve the basic problems of living without light, and even more importantly, without the energy that light provides? This right here is where evolution gets seriously creative. Okay, let's start with the most obvious problem. When it's completely dark, you just can't see. So, how do you find food? How do you make sure you don't become food? How do you even move around without constantly bumping into things?
Well, evolution's answer was basically to ditch sight and then double down on everything else. These creatures developed what you could only call super senses. They can feel the tiniest vibrations in the water, they can taste and smell chemical trails, and some can even sense the faint electricity given off by other animals. For them, the darkness is this rich world of vibrations, scents, and electrical fields.
And, if you can't rely on the sun for light, why not just make your own? This is bioluminescence. It's this dazzling innovation where a chemical reaction inside an organism actually creates living light. And this light is incredibly useful. An anglerfish, for example, uses a glowing lure to attract its next meal. Others use bright flashes to startle predators or to find a mate in the endless dark. Some even use a steady glow for camouflage against the faint light filtering down from above. It's a total game changer. And get this isn't some rare, quirky trick. It is the dominant strategy. Down in the deep ocean, it's estimated that up to 90% of the animals you can see are producing their own light. They've essentially replaced the sun with billions and billions of tiny living stars. But, navigating is one thing. The biggest problem of all, the real challenge, is energy. Photosynthesis, the process that turns sunlight into food and supports almost all life on Earth, well, that's completely off the table. So what do you eat? Where does the energy come from? The solution is a process that sounds like science fiction, but it's very, very real. It's called chemosynthesis. Instead of using light energy from the sun, these organisms use chemical energy, often from volcanic vents on the ocean floor, to create their food. It's life fueled by the Earth's internal chemistry, not the sun's light. Just incredible. And here's how it all comes together. At a hydrothermal vent, you've got chemicals like hydrogen sulfide just pouring out from inside the Earth. Microbes feast on this chemical soup, and they become the base of an entire food chain. You get giant tube worms, crabs, clams, a whole bustling ecosystem that honestly wouldn't even notice if the sun went out. And of course, evolution doesn't have a one-size-fits-all solution. In the deep sea, it's all about bioluminescence and chemosynthesis. In caves, where food is super scarce, creatures evolve those super senses and incredibly slow metabolisms. And during the long polar winter, it's all about storing energy and relying on internal clocks. Different problems, different solutions. So when you put all of these amazing adaptations together, you're forced to rethink one of the most basic assumptions in all of biology. And that brings us to the most crucial point of all. Life doesn't actually need sunlight. It just needs energy. While the sun is the most obvious source here on Earth,
it's definitely not the only one. Energy can come from chemicals, from geothermal heat. Life is opportunistic. It'll use whatever it can find.
I love this quote because it just perfectly reframes our perspective. See, darkness isn't a barrier to life. It's a frontier. It's this powerful force that pushes evolution to be more and more creative, shaping life into these extraordinary forms we're just now beginning to understand.
And this realization, this has profound implications that stretch far beyond our own planet. It goes right to the heart of one of humanity's greatest quests, the search for life out there in the universe. Just think about it for a second. Moons like Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Enceladus are covered in ice, right? But underneath, they have vast liquid oceans completely cut off from sunlight. But we know they have geologic activity, maybe even hydrothermal vents just like ours. So if chemosynthetic life can thrive in our planet's darkness, why couldn't it be thriving there? And that leaves us with this final, truly mind-bending question. Everything we're learning from Earth's darkest corners suggests that maybe, just maybe, life isn't so rare after all. It could be hiding in the dark oceans of icy moons, patiently waiting for us to find it, completely indifferent to the light of any star.